It was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime, a journey to a paradise jungle in the Philippines. 5 young Americans, 3 girls and 2 guys, set off on what they thought would be a journey of discovery, adventure, and fun. But what they encountered was a nightmare beyond their wildest imaginations, a journey that would test their courage, their resilience, and their very will to survive. Their journey began innocently enough, as they boarded a flight from Los Angeles to Manila. They were filled with excitement and anticipation, eager to explore the lush jungles of the Philippines, swim in crystal clear waters, and bask in the sun on white sandy beaches. They had heard stories of the beauty and wonders of this tropical paradise, and they could hardly wait to experience it for themselves. But their dreams of paradise were shattered when they arrived in Manila. They soon discovered that the city was a hotbed of crime, corruption, and danger. Drug dealers, kidnappers, and human traffickers lurked in every shadow, and the Americans quickly realized that they were in way over their heads. Despite the danger, they pressed on, determined to reach the jungle and begin their adventure. But their journey was plagued by one disaster after another. Their guide was killed in a freak accident, leaving them lost and alone in the jungle. They encountered deadly snakes, treacherous terrain, and relentless storms that threatened to wash them away. As they struggled to survive, they discovered that the jungle was not the paradise they had imagined. It was a dark and dangerous place, inhabited by ruthless drug dealers and brutal slave traders. They were captured and sold into slavery, forced to work in a brutal and unforgiving environment. Their only hope was to escape, but the odds were stacked against them. They had no weapons, no food, and no shelter. They were surrounded by armed guards, and any attempt to escape was met with deadly force. But they refused to give up. They banded together, using their wits, their strength, and their determination to fight for their freedom. They endured beatings, starvation, and endless days of backbreaking labor, but they never lost hope. Their journey would ultimately end in tragedy, as 2 of the girls would die heroically, sacrificing their own lives to save their friends. But the others would survive, against all odds, and make their way back to the United States, forever changed by the horrors they had endured. Their journey was a testament to the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we are capable of great courage and resilience. And though their story was a harrowing one, it was also a tale of hope, of survival, and of the enduring power of the human spirit. After their miraculous rescue and return to the United States, the survivors struggled to come to terms with what they had endured in the jungle. They were haunted by nightmares, flashbacks, and memories of the horrors they had witnessed and experienced. They found it difficult to adjust to their old lives, and many of them struggled with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. They felt disconnected from their families and friends, and they had a hard time relating to anyone who had not shared their traumatic experience. As time went on, their mental health began to deteriorate. They became paranoid, irritable, and unpredictable. They would lash out at anyone who reminded them of their ordeal, and they would often retreat into their own worlds, reliving the horrors of the jungle over and over again. Eventually, their families realized that they needed help, and they intervened. The survivors were taken to a psychiatric hospital, where they received intensive therapy and treatment for their mental health issues. At first, they resisted the treatment, believing that they were perfectly fine and that the doctors were trying to control them. But gradually, they began to open up and talk about their experiences. They shared their fears, their doubts, and their hopes for the future. Through therapy, they learned coping strategies for dealing with their trauma, and they began to rebuild their lives. They found solace in support groups, where they met other survivors of trauma and learned that they were not alone. Eventually, they were able to leave the hospital and resume their lives. They went back to school, started new jobs, and reconnected with their families and friends. They never forgot what they had been through, but they learned to live with it and move forward. Their journey had been a harrowing one, but it had also taught them valuable lessons about resilience, strength, and the power of human connection. They had emerged from their ordeal stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than ever before.